Om Namah Shivaya friends, welcome to Dots of Destiny. This video is for the yearly horoscope for Gemini ascendants, moon sign or rising. You can see it from whichever angle you want. Obviously for the ascendants it will be the best match because it shows your the physicality, the whatever is manifested in the physical environment. Now, for Gemini ascendants, let's talk about first the major planet, what is happening with Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu, Ketu. Then I have made a monthly analysis of the fast moving planets transiting around the from whichever area of your horoscope in whichever month it is going. So let's start with Jupiter because it is in the beginning of the year, it will be on your Lagna, and Jupiter will be retrograde till 11th of March on your Lagna, being your Kendra Lord. It is your 4th and 7th Lord being on the Lagna. It will definitely give you some decisive, because see, retrogression of a planet is the Falit of the planet. What happens, I have seen in my consultations and understanding of retrogression, is that when the planet is direct, you are doing the kind of karma that you are destined to do. You have a certain kind of free will whether you do a certain task or keep it pending, or in whichever way you take it. But what happens when that planet goes retrograde is that maybe it's a force, you do not have much of free will over here. That is why we say that the retrogression of a planet means cheshta bal of the planet increases. You have to repeat the task, and also retrograde planets gives very sudden results also. This I have seen again and again, and that falit may be good or bad according to whatever the things you have performed when the planet was in a direct situation. Now for you, when Jupiter is on the Lagna, it is very see, Jupiter on the Lagna is a very consciousness raising transit. I can say it in that way. It gives you to understand lot of areas of your life. That is why Jupiter on the Lagna in the 7th house, it is like aspecting the Lagna. This is very good actually, and this can be regarding your homely affairs, it can be regarding your partner, it can be regarding just pursuing a course and going for a newness. Because Jupiter in Gemini is a short course kind of a thing. It gives to that also. You may be gearing for doing some short courses because Rahu is also in your 9th house. So these things can very well happen. And because this Jupiter is in Kendra, there is Saturn also, and Saturn will be in Uttar Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Let me wait. This is not the end of it. Jupiter is on your Lagna from January to March 11th. It is retrograde, then it goes direct and stay till the 1st of June. 1st of June onwards, it gives also another better transit with exaltation in the 2nd house. Here it's a monetary transit and good boosting family environment, marriage kind of a transit, expansion of the family, good things about the 2nd house is there. Also your partner can get an upgradation with the 7th lord going into the 8th into exaltation, 8th from itself, from Sagittarius. So that can also happen. This is the month of June, July, August, September, October, 5 months. And then it goes into a 3rd house. Jupiter will move into Leo also this year, November, December. Again, it comes back to your 2nd house. So, 3rd Jupiter, there are obviously November, December is a very dynamic month for Gemini people, and I'll explain how. But as of now, you understand that Jupiter will make a conjunction with Ketu and Mars in the month of November in the third house, which brings in some new ventures, new travels that give fruit, finalizing some results in that area, some shift, some transfer, relocation. All these things are favored at this point of time, November, December, the end of the year. So Jupiter is on an average, it is like 4 5 months. It is transiting on the Lagna, second house, third house. All the transits are good of Jupiter. Nothing to these are good transits and result oriented also. Now, when Jupiter is in exaltation from the month of June to the end of October, these 5 months, it will be aspecting Saturn and its own sign Pisces, where Saturn is in your 10th house. Now, 10th house Saturn, by this time, I hope Gemini ascendants have got it cleared. It is not always a very great transit. Because 10th Saturn very much depends on the Saturn is never good or bad, it is, obviously, if it's an Ashtam Shani, Sarasati, even Sarasati also many people rise during that time. It is your karma phala. That is the main thing. So, quoting that the 10th Saturn transit will be a hugely successful, this is not the way it can be said. No. So, anyway, Saturn is becoming very strong this year because Saturn gains momentum with its transit. Last year it just entered into Purva Bhadrapada. Now this year it will be in Uttar Bhadrapada mainly. Barring some months, I've given the list of the planets transition, and it'll go into Revati and come back again. Revati for 4 months, I think. It'll come back again to Uttar Bhadrapada. So more or less this year's Saturn transition is in the 10th house in Uttar Bhadrapada, and middle 5 months is aspected by Jupiter, which is very auspicious. This is a very great time for you. When Saturn is in the 10th house, then July it goes retrograde, some unfulfilled karma can be finished and you get the result, because Jupiter is also aspecting this Saturn. Jupiter's own house it is aspecting, and this is Artha Trikon transit. It is not a transit to raise your consciousness to that extent. It is more about this, how you deal with your professional world, your finances, your family, your health, your greater understanding of how to make a base on this, your working front, your karma. So Saturn's transit is also good. If you have a good dasha to support it, definitely it will give you good results at this point of time. And depends also how much you're able to enhance your karma with Saturn. You do not lose out on working. You come forward and you make the things happen. That, because Saturn is a slow planet, right? So sometimes it needs to be pushed. So that is also there. Rigorous karma is very important at this point of time. For me, it's a good transit, but not that always it is a great one. Okay, now Rahu Ketu. Rahu is in your 9th house, Ketu is in the 3rd. 9th house Rahu in Aquarius. This is the 9th house is the house of faith, father, higher thinking. Yes, Rahu can pave the way for unusual learning. That can happen if you're a student. That can very much happen. Also, the relationship with the father can be a little tricky or distant. It can be. You can, if you are going towards any foreign lands, then you can be exposed, if you're running a Pratyantar or Antardasha of Rahu, to a new group of people. As Rahu will be in Shatabisha from 23rd November to the month of August. So this newness of Rahu being in its own house, own nakshatra, very, very powerful at this point of time. Very powerful Rahu transit. If you are having any dasha antardasha of Rahu, it will give very, very profound result. One thing is that keep your faith in one hand. That is very important with this Rahu. Do not believe in the fact what Rahu makes you believe, that it is you who is doing everything and getting the name, fame, whatever. Because Rahu in these conditions aspecting the Lagna in a airy sign can bring name, fame for you also. That is also there. And but understand that the take that Jupiterian energy, Rahu sometimes misguides. That is the problem. Not that denying the magical power of Rahu, not that I'm against it. I myself have a very strong Rahu in my horoscope, very strong. But I understand that this planet sometimes gets up to the head and its desires are unfulfilled. How much you get, it hankers for more, it's eager for more, and sometimes we think we are the king. No, it's not like, it is divine destiny. But if you have a natal Rahu in the ninth house, to find the faith and to find the exact chord with the father is always very difficult. This is maximum time I have seen that. Anyway, but this is a good transit of Rahu. Last month of this 2026 year, it goes into your 8th house in Capricorn. Now, Ketu is in your third house. Third house mainly is short distance journeys, decision making, ventures. Decisions can be very sudden. Shift of place also can be very sudden and quick taken. So that is how Ketu works in the third house. Third house again is not the, see, this opposite position is good. Rahu in the third, Ketu in the ninth. But this position is that your conscious mind is troubled by Ketu at times. You feel whatever decision I am taking, it is correct. And with the younger sibling, with distance journeys, you can be very swift and fast and sudden. So keep a check on that, not denying that the best place of Saturn and Jupiter is happening for you. Saturn in the 10th, Jupiter in the Lagna second house. But this condition of Rahu Ketu is not one of my favorite transit, that I will be very clear with. Yes, they give you ideas which are not exactly, that is good in a way. What if you go for higher studies also, that can also be very unconventional. But the ideas are sometimes a little bit detrimental to yourself. Just look into that, because whenever Rahu is, the Jupiter will be for some time on the Lagna. After that, Rahu will be constantly aspecting your Lagna later half of the year. So at that time, your decision making should not be hasteful, and you should go with a preparedness towards whatever decision you're taking. It should be slow, steady, and not like the Rahuish influential decision. Here in the ninth house, that also happens. An elderly person, Rahuish kind of person, can suddenly influence you. These are the negativities of Rahu. Otherwise, if it is magical, it's magical. Rahu can give a lot of things also. So that is the main 4 big planets transit. Now I'll go to the month wise, how the planets are behaving every month wise. Let's have a look at that. Presently in 2025, the end of the year, December, Mercury is going into Libra, and then it will go direct, and it will be in Scorpio in December 2025. Again in December 2026, Mercury will land up in Scorpio at the end of the year. So it will be transiting the whole year around the zodiac, and obviously it is going retrograde again 3 times, most probably in the 10th house, in the Lagna, and in the 4th house. So let's see. January month first, as you begin the year Gemini ascendants, all planets are mostly in the 7th house. That is the house of Sagittarius. Here partnership is very important, and many Gemini ascendants are looking in for partnership, whether it is business oriented, as Saturn is also in the 10th house aspecting your 7th house, and Jupiter also will be on the Lagna aspecting the 7th. This is a good time for finding partnership, getting married or something like that. Things can happen in that way also. And also what is happening is that after 15th of January, all the planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Sun, all goes into your 8th house. So business wise, this is a good transit actually. 100% 8th house, when every planet, like so many planets are going into the 8th house, there can be sudden disruptions also. If you are going for some kind of investment related things, some kind of things that are hidden investments, you have to be very careful at this point of time, because 8th house, we know it gives also, but it also gives certain kind of transformation, and so many planets, visiting the 8th house, especially Mars in the house of Capricorn, though it is exalted, but Mars is obviously not your best planet, knowing that. So first January month, you have to be a little cautiously optimistic in the month of January. February is also a cautious month because Mars is still in the 8th house. 9th house will see Mercury, Venus, Rahu, and definitely there will be a forward movement, and Mercury will get retrograde by the end of the month in the sign of Aquarius. So February month is also a month where Mars being in the 8th house, 9th house, a good conjunction is happening. You can have sudden roadblocks, and again you want to move ahead fast, because Rahu Mercury Venus combination is good actually. This is a good conjunction, but again this Mars in the 8th house again and again is quite not good for Gemini people, and also they're accident prone. All these things can very much happen. Okay, then we see the month of March. We have the 10th house, Sun, Venus, Saturn conjunction. So here you can now see Sun, Venus and Saturn. Sun, Saturn we don't want actually. So in the sense there can be problem in some authority issues, or any these kind of things can be a problem at this point of time. It is a month where you go ahead again with very much caution, and you need patience at this point of time, because you see when so many planets are in the 10th house, some kind of change will be happening, and this is a year ending time for many people. And even your father's status can also change if you are a student or something. These things can happen. Your bosses may go sometimes against you in a Sun Saturn combination. These things you can become sometimes forceful also, because these conjunctions act. Because when 10th house is loaded, we have Rahu Mercury Mars in the 9th house. So Rahu Mercury is a very flare of conjunction again in the 9th house, and it tests your patience. You can suddenly go very hyper, because the Lagna Lord is also involved in this thing. So March month also you need very lot of patience to handle this. April, your total concentration is again the 10th house, Mercury Mars Saturn conjunction. The theme of the March continues in April also. It is more or less like that. May month is a big month. 11th house you see Sun, Mercury, Mars. 12th house again next part you'll see Sun, Mercury, and Lagna will have Jupiter and Venus. Now here because Venus is your 5th lord and Jupiter is your this Kendra Trikon, Kendra lord Jupiter and Trikon lord Venus is on the Lagna. This is a good time actually, with Sun Mercury in the 11th and then going into the 12th house. This is a good time, and Mars is also in the 11th house in its own sign in Aries. So financially getting some benefits, some comparative examination success, anything that can give you some sort of a success, May month is capable of doing that. Then see June month, there will be confidence again, because Mercury will be on the Lagna, Mars will be 12th and Jupiter Venus here. So this May June will be confidence giving months. It will give you some new beginnings, better confidence to your character, and whichever field you are, whether you are in your professional area, whether it is the area of your studies, whether health wise also you are going through some trouble or something, you will feel a renewed sense of energy at this point of time. From May month to June month, good months these are. Now July, Mercury goes retrograde. After Mercury moves into the 2nd house in Cancer, it becomes retrograde and again come on the Lagna. important month, as there will be, whenever the Lagna Lord is getting retrograde on the Lagna, aspected by Rahu over here, some major shifts will be confirmed at this point of time. So July is like a confirmation of certain shifts in your life. And now, whether it is good or bad, mostly Lagna Lord aspected by Rahu, because Rahu Mercury goes well, it should be good news only. Now, sometimes it may happen, Mercury is very flexible, it has to adjust also to certain conditions. So, July also okay month. Now, August, Mars comes on the Lagna. It is again a cautious, and Sun, Jupiter, Mercury it is focused in the second house, and Venus is in fourth. So, Mars being on the Lagna, August month especially, I cannot say that it is great, because you know what, August month Saturn will be retrograde in the 10th house and Mars on your Lagna. It can give lot of aggression, it can give. So, and Sun will be, your second lord will be with Ketu in the 3rd house. So here August month should be a very calculative, cautious approach you must keep. September is very productive month with Jupiter, Mars in Cancer, Mercury in Virgo. After crossing the 3rd house, Venus in Libra, Sun in Leo. Most of the planets are in their own house, and Mercury is rushing very fast. Very fast. It reaches the 4th house. So the 4th lord in 4th, the 5th lord in 5th, Sun the 3rd lord in 3rd, and Jupiter exalted in the 2nd house with the Mars Neecha giving a Neej Bhanga. So this is a very nice placement, you know. This is a very good placement for a very productive month, that will be September. It's a good month to go for. You'll have sanity at home, you'll have good peace, your love affairs can flourish and all these things. It is a good month for finances also. October, Venus goes retrograde in the 5th house, but again it is Jupiter, Mars, same thing. So again September, October, it is the same, more or less same kind of result, barring the fact if you have Venus Dasha Antardasha Pratyanta, Venus this year, Venus is going retrograde in Libra. It will come back to your 4th house. Again going back to Libra. This will happen in the last 4 months of the year. September, October, November, December. So if you have Antardasha of Venus or Pratyantar, this is a very important year for you. Maybe your financial thing, maybe your investment things, maybe your progeny, maybe your love affairs, maybe your marriage, your real estates, anything. These things are very much the focus if you have a particular running dasha of Venus at this point of time. Finances, obviously, because a big planet is sitting in the finance house. But now November, December comes, Mercury and Venus will exchange sign. Mercury will come into 5th, Venus goes into your 4th house. This is also good. And here what happens is that Jupiter and Ketu and Mars makes a conjunction in the 3rd house. Now this is some kind of a shift is shown, because Ketu's last month in the 3rd house and Jupiter, Mars is in Leo. Now Ketu in the month of December will come to the 2nd house and Rahu shift from 9th to 8th house. So a big shift at this point of time is seen for many ascendants, but for you, because it is in the 3rd and the 2nd house happening. So a change of house, a change of place, change of city, change of decision, looking back, because Mercury will go into Libra, and Venus retrograde goes into Virgo, exchange. Then in the December month, Mercury comes to the 6th house and Venus comes into the 5th house in its own house. So it's a very interesting year actually. There's a year of the sun. 2026 adds up to 1. Now, having said that, this year is interesting, but at the same time it has lot of things to handle also. See, there are so many planetary conjunctions. At some point, there are 4 conjunctions of planet beginning in January, February, in your 7th house, in your 8th house, and then you have Mars, Mercury, Rahu in the 9th house. You have Sun, Venus, and Saturn in the 10th house. Then you have Mars and Saturn in the 10th house. There are a lot of things that needs to be handled. Whichever dasha you are running, it is your handling that will matter very much at this point of the year. I mean, beginning of the year is definitely a little bit more crucial. When March, April, June comes, it is getting better. July will be shifts and some confirmed decisions will be taken with the Lagna rod retrograde and then going direct on the Lagna. Then you come towards the settlement of it as Mercury moves from the 2nd to the 3rd very swiftly to the 4th house in its own exaltation point. And Venus also is in the 5th house in Libra. So all in all, it's a good year. On the mundane level, yes, there is problem. And when I say good year, it does not mean everything is falling onto the lap. It is like you're working towards it. The planetary arrangements has lot of up and down movements, but if you can really having a more or less good dasha, you'll be able to go through it and give some productive result at the end of this year. That is what, because at the end now Ketu is moving into the 2nd and Rahu into the 8th. A bit challenging position from here, definitely Rahu Ketu. This is challenging financially mainly. That we'll discuss when it happens. That's the last month of the year. Mainly majority in 2026, but big change and shift in December month. Hope I could have put some light into the coming year 2026 with my video. Please like, share and subscribe if you feel it helps you in some way. And till my next video, take care, have a good day, bye bye, namaste.